we get into the big boys on the defensive line, and more importantly, discussing one Freddie Roach, who is the defensive line coach for Alabama football. I'm excited about having Coach Roach in here, and I've mentioned this before. When you have a guy that thoroughly understands what the Bama factor is, born in this state, North Alabama, in the Killen area. He played for the university from 2001 to 2005 as an inside linebacker, and a very decorative one at that. You know, Roach was a part of his coaching staff twice, 2008 to 2010 on the strength and conditioning staff, part of that 2009 national championship team. Then he came back 2015 and 2016 as the director of player development, part of that 2015 national title squad. So, no, Roach knows the ropes. He knows what's to be expected from Nick Saban. He knows what's to be expected from the fans. He knows what's to be expected from this program. And when you have a guy that has been ingrained or immersed, as I should say, in the culture, in the pageantry, in the tradition that is Alabama football, you get a guy that you don't have to really say much to. They know pretty much how to and the way to get the job done. But the reason why, I'm excited to have, Coach Freddie Roach in here is on the defensive line, right? He did some great things in Ole Miss the last 3 years, 2017 to 2019. And he did a lot of these things with 2 and 3 star guys. Now, Ole Miss would bring in a 4 and 5 star every blue moon, every now and again, but more so the production was done by 2 and 3 stars. And through that 3-year period, of the 84 sacks the Rebels had, 58 came from the defensive line. That's 69%. Now, I know stats don't mean everything, but they do give a solid barometer of some aspects. So of the 84 sacks that, Ole Miss had in that 3-year period, 58 from the defensive line. That's 69%. And, Roach produced the guys like Marcus Haynes, Breland Speaks, Josiah Coatney, Benito Jones, DeMarcus Gates, Markel Winters, and Samuel Williams, just to name a couple of guys there. When he was at, of course, South Alabama in 2013 and 2014, coaching defensive ends, he produced 65 sacks combined between those 2 seasons. And in Alabama, we're always comparing coaches and players to former coaches and players. I know we don't like comparisons. Every guy is his own guy. Every man is his own individual. Every person has their own destiny or their own goal in mind. But subconsciously, we can't help it. We compare players to players. We compare, coaches to coaches regardless of position. I mean, for example, case in point, the moment that Nick Saban looks at his wife, Miss Terry, and goes, "Baby, we gonna call this a career. We gonna hang up the coaching hat, the whistle, and retire." And the moment that happens, which is, I pray it happens far away from now, but the moment that happens, the individual that's going to be hired or tapped or pegged or chosen to replace Coach Saban is going to get a lot of comparisons to him. People are going to be like, well, can he do what Coach Nick did? Can he elevate the program like Saban did? Can he coach like Saban did? Can he get on these guys like Saban did? Can he put guys in the draft like Saban did? Like, that guy is going to be compared to Coach Saban in terms of different players. I mean, to this day, you have folks that are going, well, who's going to be the next Derrick Henry? People look at, Najee Harris. Najee's the next Derrick Henry. Najee's the next Derrick Henry. For every quarterback that comes in here, they're going to be compared to a Tagovailoa. Can this guy do what Tua did? Can he throw like Tua? Can he run like Tua? Can he talk like Tua? Can he lead like Tua? Can he guide like Tua? They're going to be compared to Tua. For wide receivers, it depends. If they're of a 6'4", 6'5", Megatron-like freak, they're going to be compared to Julio Jones. Can he box out like Julio? Can he catch like Julio? Can he run like Julio? Or if the receiver is of the smaller body, that can run routes, probably a 5'10", 5'11", 6'1" type guy that can run routes. They're going to be compared to Amari Cooper and Calvin Ridley and Jerry Jeudy. Of course, you guys are getting what I'm saying here. Comparisons happen. So in terms of Freddie Roach right here, Coach Roach is going to get compared to Bo Davis. Bo Davis is the epitome of when people discuss great defensive line coach at Alabama. It's Bo Davis. Now, of course, guys like Chris Rump, guys like Craig Kulagowski, guys like Brian Baker, Carl Dunbar, they did a decent job. They did solid. They weren't scrubs. They weren't slouches. But when you look at who was that guy that put Alabama defensive line coach on the map, people look at, of course, Bo Davis, who was at Alabama from 2007 to 2010, and then his second stint from 2014 to 2015. So in that 6-year period, we're looking at a young man that coached 83 sacks, including 2 guys that had 10-plus sacks, in Wallace Gilberry, who had 10 in 2007, and then Jonathan Allen, who had 12 in 2015. He was the only coach that had those guys to get, or had multiple guys or more than one guy to average, double-digit sacks. Now, of course, you, the fans out there, would say, well, Steven, Bo Davis was able to do this because he had all the marquee guys. He had all the headline talent. He had all the 4 and 5 stars, which is true. He absolutely did. You are absolutely correct in stating that. But at the same time, you can have all the talent in the world and not be able to push it out, and not be able to produce, and not be able to deliver on that talent. You have to have that coach that can push that talent out, that can guide that talent out, that can get the maximum effort out of that talent. And we cannot say that Bo Davis did not get the maximum effort out of those guys, because he absolutely did get the maximum effort out of those guys. So as much as people would like to have Davis back, when I look at Freddie Roach, he's got the opportunity to emulate, or maybe even go above and beyond what Davis did, just due to the players. They vibe with Coach Roach. They understand, where he's coming from. He's a guy that's, like I said, old enough to know the process, the idea, what's to be expected, how to get it done the right way, but he's also young enough to relate to these young athletes. He's also young enough to kind of understand, what these young men, what they go through. And for him to have this success that he had at Ole Miss, that he had at East Mississippi Community College, that he had at South Alabama with, 2 and 3 stars and, walk-ons and blue chippers and guys that you really didn't expect to ball. You didn't really know could ball. You didn't really have an idea that they would jump off the page, jump off the surface, and have that success. Now you put this young man on a team where it is flooded with 4 and 5 stars. It is flooded with guys like LeBron Ray, flooded with Christian Barmore, flooded with DJ Dale, flooded with Ishmael Sopsher and Byron Young and Justin Boygby and Braylon Ingram and Stephon Wynn and the freshmen Jamarian Latham, Jamil Burrows, Tim Smith. This defensive line is just flooded with guys that are saying, coach me, coach, I'm ready to get to the next level. Coach me, coach, I'm ready to be dominant on the field. Coach me, coach, I am prepared to make an impact. So, Coach Roach here in a situation where, to me, I feel like he's got the opportunity. He is in a spot to where he can be just as big, just as major, just as successful, if not a bit bigger than what Bo Davis was. Just seeing how he relates to these guys. He's played here before. He's from this state. He's from this area. He's from this program. He knows what is going to be expected of him. And even though we have so many comparisons that go around the college football landscape, most importantly the Alabama football landscape, I think that Roach will do the Alabama fans proud. He will do the program proud. He will do the coaching staff proud. Definitely will do Nick Saban proud, as he looks to take this defensive front and get it back to being aggressive, getting back to being headhunters, getting it back to being physical, nasty, mean, dangerous, all of the sort of adjectives I can throw out here when you talk what Crimson Tide football on defense is known for. But, folks, as always, if you want the best in Alabama football news, notes, analysis, and coverage, it's very simple. It's very easy to do. You can get this by going to the Touchdown Alabama magazine app, and you can download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you happen to have the Android phone. For the audio listening options, we got you covered on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Overcast.fm, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, or iHeartRadio. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I will return on Friday, continuing the conversation that is Alabama football. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, husbands love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children continue to find those ways to legitimately not be bored. Get those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. Protect yourself, protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith, and this has been In My Own Words. Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.